When it comes to preparedness, a lot of people think that threats will come from outside our borders. They're going to come from economic collapse. They're going to come in different ways and shapes that you probably are right, but at the same time, you may be wrong. And hear me out. But before you do that, if you don't mind, hit that subscription button, hit that thumbs up, that notification. It does help the channel and it lets you know when we post new content. Now, back to the topic. Threats. Most folks do think that threats come from an external source. Like, for example, we see that what is going on in the world with, Russia and China, and we see what's going on with the economic front as, the dollars they want to dethrone the dollar. And most folks is like, yeah, we're going to collapse and this and that. And we have spoke about that in this channel. But I'm here to give you a little twist on threats, because a lot of people do think that those are the only threats up there. And I'm going to tell you the biggest threat you haven't even thought about it. Or at least you are ignoring it because you don't want to think about it. And this, I guarantee you. Most people don't think themselves as the threat or those around them as a threat. Most people think their friends are there forever. Most people think their family are there forever. And I'm here to tell you otherwise. When the shit really gets real, and it will get real one day, friends will be really hard to come by. Really hard. Family, let's say there's nothing thicker than blood. I beg to differ. I don't think that is true. Even your own flesh and blood, your kids, will be a threat to you. Hear me out before you start typing, because I can literally hear the keyboard already going crazy. Most of you know where I come from. When the Soviet Union collapsed, things disappear in Cuba. Disappear. Many folks return back to the old ways, meaning, growing, raising animals and whatnot. A lot of folks actually live in the city because they want to be comfortable. They want to have the running water. They want to have the electricity, all those good things. However, when things got really bad, when the shit literally hit the fan in Cuba, and don't think about the fact that it was bad prior to the Soviet Union collapse. No, it was good up to that point. It was bad, but still good. Now, when the Soviet Union did collapse, shit got really bad. Really, really bad. I mean, before that, you can buy as much bread as you wanted, as long as you had the money. But when the Soviet Union collapsed, flour disappeared. Eating a piece of bread with weevils inside, it was normal. And you get one piece of bread, little bread like this big, and you were happy. So when things get really bad, people will vote like there's no tomorrow. I said it before and I will say it again in this channel. You don't know what you're going to do once you get hungry. And you can trust me on this, and this whole intermediate fasting and whatnot got nothing of what hunger is. Nothing. That is total bullshit. And I'm going to come out and say it just the way it is. Intermediate fasting and going hungry are two different things. Do not ever compare one to the other. There is no more horrible feeling than feeling your stomach close to your spine because you got so damn hungry. You will drink water just to have something in your stomach because the pain is intolerable. So, keep that in mind. So, like I said, people move more to the countryside because they want to go back to those things, like raising animals, growing food, and whatnot. Now, many thought the same thing. So, land prices skyrocket. Now, you would say, Willie, but you're not allowed to sell and buy properties in Cuba. Well, you can how can I say this? You can move from one place to the other. Say, like, for example, somebody who lives in the countryside, who don't want to live in the countryside anymore, want to live in the city. Well, you can swap properties. And, under the table, you can give a little money. That is allowed. So a lot of people try to do that. But here's the problem. Not everybody could do that. So, as I said before, when you go hungry, you will do unspeakable things. Let's say, for example, that I had a flock of chickens. And my flock of chickens were giving me eggs. I was happy. I was eating eggs. I had a little bit of meat from time to time. But getting food for those animals, kind of hard. So, you do what you can. And some people were able to steal, and not going to come out and say it's just the way it is, steal some feed from the government. And, you do trades and whatnot. But the way that you do trades, you have chickens and eggs. So you would trade a chicken for a, 50-pound of feed, and you were happy. But what you don't know is that person who stole that feed now knows that you had chickens. How long do you think your chickens last? Yeah, that same night probably your chickens were gone. With your chickens gone, your egg production went off the window. With your egg production, you not being able to make money, well, hunger starts sinking in and whatnot. You trusted that friend betrayed you. That shit happens. It will happen. Folks in Cuba opted to not having animals because they couldn't sleep at night. If they had a cow, which you can't kill a cow, by the way, in Cuba, they had to have somebody guarding that cow because people will come and cut off a leg and run and leave the cow alive in there. Because technically they didn't kill the cow, so they don't get the 20 years. Who's responsible for that cow? The owner. You know who can go to jail for that? The owner. Not the thief, the owner. Sounds familiar? Sounds like something very similar was going on in here. They punish the good people and they let the thieves and the people who break the law go free. Very similar. People stop growing their own food because their mindset is like, what for? I spend the entire season busting myself growing food, and now the government comes and gets everything, pays me absolutely nothing, leaves me very little. And those who didn't work can go at night, steal the crops. You can't do nothing. Then people stop. They stop. Family members, and I heard about this. Very close. Family members will not do the deed themselves, but they will tell others. So others will go and steal your pigs, and that family member mysteriously will get a piece of meat in their freezer. How you know that? Well, because when you went to visit and you opened the fridge to get a glass of water, you saw the meat. Your family will turn on you. I don't even want to talk about your kids or anything like that because that's a very sensitive topic. But I want to emphasize on the fact that your biggest threat will be those around you. You yourself are a threat to me if shit get really bad, because you're going to prioritize your son over mine, and that is a problem. People will not talk about this, but this is the truth of an SHTF. This is the truth of shit getting bad. You will and always will put your family and your well-being first. You will not care about friends. You will not care about family. You will care about those around you. Your wife, your parents if they live with you, your kids. That will come first. You do not care about anybody else. And that is human nature. We will revert back. And we will be animals with no rules and no care of what we do. Because there will be no consequences. And if there's any consequences, you will not care. Because when you are hungry, you do not give a flying hoop about what happened. All you care is about getting your belly filled. So, consider my words as a warning. Be very mindful that the biggest threat that you will face during an SHTF are those around you. The biggest threat is not governments outside our borders. It is not losing the world currency like we have right now. It is not losing the petrodollar. No. No, that is not it. The biggest problem that we're going to have is each other. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like always, rock on, prep on, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.